What if everything you've been told about death is wrong? Mediums from around the world insist that the spiritual world isn't just a mystery. It's more structured, more real, and more connected to you than you could ever imagine. Forget the idea of endless darkness or pearly gates. What happens after death is far more shocking, and the secrets revealed here will change the way you look at life itself. Here's the twist. You're not wandering alone, lost in some void. There are guides, cities, even entire worlds waiting beyond the veil. And what you discover there depends on the choices you make today. Sounds unbelievable, right? But stay with me, because every story, every testimony, every revelation will pull you deeper into truths too powerful to ignore. And here's your reward for watching. By the end of this video, you won't just hear about the afterlife. You'll feel connected to it in ways that could transform your purpose here and now. So if you're ready to uncover the hidden map of the spiritual world, hit that subscribe button, like, and share this video. Because trust me, you won't want to face eternity unprepared. Imagine for a moment that death isn't the end, it's simply a door. A door every single one of us will walk through one day. But here's the question, what's waiting on the other side? People who've had near-death experiences say they float out of their bodies, watching doctors rush, loved ones cry, as if they were standing in the audience of their own final act. And in that instant, something extraordinary happens. The door begins to open. Before we step inside, don't forget, subscribe, like, and share this video so more people can discover these hidden truths. Now, picture this. You've been carrying a heavy backpack your entire life. Stress, pain, responsibilities. And suddenly, the straps snap. The weight falls away. That's how many describe the first seconds after death. A feeling of pure freedom, lightness, like being released from gravity itself. But here's the twist. Instead of total darkness, there's often a tunnel. A tunnel not of stone, but of light so alive it seems to call your name. And the question is, who built this tunnel, and where does it lead? What's more haunting is that people consistently describe familiar faces, waiting just beyond the glow. Grandparents, parents, even children who left this world long ago, standing there as if they knew exactly when you'd arrive. It's like landing in an airport where your loved ones never left the gate, waving, smiling, ready to guide you home. But what if the person you expect to see isn't there? Or worse, what if someone you never wanted to see is? Would you still step forward? Remember, if this already has you questioning your reality, hit that subscribe button. You'll want to stay with us until the end. And here's where it gets even more mysterious. Time doesn't behave the way it does here on Earth. Minutes feel like hours, hours like a lifetime. Some souls drift for what feels like days before deciding to walk through that glowing door. Others say it all happens in a blink. Why the difference? Could it be that we still have choices to make, even in death? Could the afterlife be less of a destination and more of a decision? If you had the chance to stay a little longer, would you take it? Or would you step through immediately? But let me leave you with this thought. What if the door doesn't open the same way for everyone? What if the experience is tailored to you, your beliefs, your fears, your deepest desires? One person sees a tunnel of light, another hears music, another feels like they're floating in an ocean of stars. If reality after death is shaped by our minds, what are you secretly expecting to find? Stick around, because in the next part we'll reveal something even more shocking. You might not be as alone as you think. You already have a spiritual guide walking beside you. And that changes everything. What if I told you right now that you're not walking through life alone? Imagine for a second that even in your darkest moments, someone invisible has been by your side, whispering ideas, nudging you toward choices. Mediums and psychics insist this isn't just imagination. It's your personal spirit guide, a being who knows your story better than you do. And before we uncover how to recognize their signs, take a moment to subscribe and share this video, because who wouldn't want to know the secret ally walking with them? Think of your life like a road trip. You're driving, making all the turns, but there's someone in the passenger seat with a map. They won't grab the wheel. They won't force you down a road, but they'll suggest, maybe try that street, or slow down here. That's how spirit guides work. Your free will remains intact, but they're constantly dropping hints. Ever had a coincidence so perfect it felt like more than chance? A song on the radio at the right time? A stranger's words that answered your silent question? What if those were your guide's fingerprints? Mediums often say our guides aren't random. They could be ancestors who love us, or souls aligned with our journey. Imagine if your grandmother, long gone, was the quiet voice urging you not to give up, or a spirit you never met in this lifetime, yet bonded with before birth. Isn't it comforting to think you've never been completely on your own? And here's the kicker. These guides are patient. They'll wait years, decades, even lifetimes for you to finally notice them. But how do you know when they're trying to get through? Here's where it gets fascinating. Guides use subtle channels, dreams that feel too real to ignore, numbers that repeat until you finally look them up. That gut feeling that saves you from disaster. But here's the real question. How many times have you brushed these moments off as nothing? If the universe was literally waving at you, would you notice? Or would you speed past, distracted by your phone, your stress, your daily chaos? If you're starting to wonder how many signs you've already missed, make sure you hit that like button. This journey is just getting started. And now comes the revelation that changes everything. Your guide isn't just sending you signals. They're shaping your destiny by amplifying your thoughts. Yes, your very mindset could be the bridge between you and them, which leads us to the next truth that mediums have been shouting for centuries. Your thoughts create your reality, both here and in the afterlife. And if that's true, then what you're thinking right now might already be shaping your eternity. Have you ever stopped to wonder what happens to your thoughts once they leave your mind? Mediums say they don't just vanish into thin air. They're alive, shaping realities in the afterlife. Imagine your thoughts as paintbrushes and the spiritual world as the canvas. Every single emotion, belief, or daydream becomes a stroke of color, building the very world you'll inhabit after death. The shocking truth: your mind is the architect of your eternity. And if you're curious to keep painting your own masterpiece, don't forget to subscribe and share this journey with others. Think of it this way. When you're on Earth, your thoughts already shape your mood and your choices. A bad day starts with a single negative thought, right? Now amplify that power by 1,000. In the afterlife, there's no physical barrier, no dense body slowing you down. Your mind instantly manifests what you focus on. That's why some people describe paradises of beauty and light, while others find themselves in darker, heavier places. So here's the universal question. If you died right now, what kind of reality would your thoughts create for you? Think of it this way. When you're on Earth, your thoughts already shape your mood and your choices. A bad day starts with a single negative thought, right? Now amplify that power by 1,000. In the afterlife, there's no physical barrier, no dense body slowing you down. Your mind instantly manifests what you focus on. That's why some people describe paradises of beauty and light, while others find themselves in darker, heavier places. So here's the universal question. If you died right now, what kind of reality would your thoughts create for you? Mediums and near-death experiencers consistently report that negativity attracts lower vibration spirits, almost like flies drawn to spoiled fruit. On the flip side, love and gratitude create radiant spaces, fields, gardens, entire cities of light. Imagine walking into a house built entirely from your emotions. Would it be a mansion filled with joy, or a prison constructed from your fears? The afterlife isn't random. It's customized by your mind. Isn't that both terrifying and empowering at the same time? Here's a mind-bending thought. Your prayers, your intentions, even the way you talk to yourself, are laying bricks in the unseen world. Have you ever noticed how one positive thought can lift your entire day? That same principle doesn't stop at death. It only intensifies. Which means right now, this very second, you're literally writing the blueprint of your spiritual future. So ask yourself, are you designing a sanctuary or a nightmare? If this truth resonates, tap that like button. It helps more seekers discover these hidden realities. But hold on, the rabbit hole goes deeper. If your thoughts are powerful enough to build worlds after death, then what about before birth? What if you had a hand in choosing the family, the challenges, even the pain you face in this lifetime? Stick with me, because in the next chapter, we'll reveal a revelation that flips everything you thought you knew. You chose your family before you were even born, and the reasons why will shock you. Have you ever looked at your family and thought, why them? Why me? Here's the shocking revelation mediums and spiritual teachers share. You actually chose them, long before you took your first breath. Imagine sitting in a cosmic boardroom, surrounded by wise beings, carefully planning the next chapter of your soul's story. Every challenge, every bond, every heartbreak was part of a bigger blueprint. And before we open the pages of this spiritual contract, make sure to subscribe and share this video. Someone you know might need to hear this truth. Think about it like casting roles in a movie. You're the main character, but you need a supporting cast to push your growth. That stubborn parent? They're there to teach you patience. That sibling rivalry? It's a stage for you to practice forgiveness. Even the hardest relationships are contracts your soul agreed to. Sounds wild, doesn't it? But here's the question. If you chose your family, what lesson are they really here to teach you? Stories from reincarnation studies and mediums often describe pre-birth meetings, where souls gather with guides to decide the details. Who will be your mother? Your father? What challenges will sharpen you like fire refines gold? Imagine sitting at that table, choosing trials that would stretch your courage. Would you have picked the same family you have now? Or would you have tried to bargain for an easier script? Be honest, what would you have chosen? And here's the most fascinating part. These soul contracts aren't punishments. They're opportunities. Just like a gym trainer pushes you with heavy weights, your family relationships push you to grow spiritually. That's why some souls reunite again and again across lifetimes, switching roles. Your child in one life might be your parent in the next. It's like a cosmic theater where everyone takes turns playing different characters. So ask yourself, who in your life feels strangely familiar, like you've known them forever? But don't think this means everything is set in stone. Free will is always in play. You can choose to resist the lesson or embrace it. The real question is, are you awake enough to recognize the hidden curriculum in your relationships? Because once you do, even the hardest bonds can become sacred. And just when you thought family drama was complicated, wait until you hear what mediums reveal about the spiritual hospitals that welcome souls after death. Yes, you heard that right. The afterlife has places of healing, and what happens there will completely change how you see death itself. Picture this. You've just crossed over, leaving behind the pain and exhaustion of your physical body. You might expect endless darkness, or maybe a dazzling light. But what if the first thing you encounter is a hospital? Mediums and near-death experiencers reveal that the afterlife has places of healing, where newly arrived souls are welcomed, comforted, and restored. Imagine it like an airport lounge for eternity. Except instead of waiting for flights, you're preparing for your next chapter. And before we walk through these otherworldly halls, don't forget to subscribe and share, because someone you love might find hope in this truth. Think about how a baby is born into this world, fragile, disoriented, needing care. Now flip the script. When you die, you're like a newborn on the other side. Spiritual nurses and doctors, guides of light, gather around you, soothing the trauma of death, helping you adjust to your new body of light. Isn't it comforting to imagine that no soul is left to wander alone? But here's the burning question. What happens inside these hospitals that makes them so different from anything we know on Earth? Testimonies describe entire cities with hospitals, schools, even places of work. The afterlife isn't static, it's dynamic, buzzing with purpose. Picture a university campus where souls learn new skills, heal old wounds, and prepare for new journeys. You don't just sit on clouds playing harps. You grow, evolve, and contribute. Doesn't it make sense that eternity would be less of a retirement home and more of a training ground for your soul? Here's a thought experiment. If you looked in the mirror in the afterlife, what would you see? Survivors of near-death experiences often say they still appear human, but glowing, radiant, almost like a version of themselves sculpted from light. Imagine being recognized instantly by loved ones, not through your face, but through the essence of who you are. But here's where it gets interesting. Not everyone enters these healing spaces right away. Some resist, clinging to earthly habits or pain. Could that explain why some spirits linger among us? Now here's the twist. Life in these spiritual cities isn't idle. No soul is left without purpose. There are communities, tasks, and missions, all designed to elevate growth. Picture a bustling town where everyone has a role, not for survival, but for evolution. But what about the souls who don't make it straight to these healing places? What about those who leave life by their own hand? Stick with me, because in the next chapter we'll uncover the delicate, heartbreaking truth about what really happens to people who commit suicide. This is one of the hardest truths to talk about, but also one of the most important. What happens to souls who take their own lives? Mediums and near-death experiencers reveal that suicide doesn't end pain. It simply transfers it. Imagine trying to leave a burning room by jumping into another fire. The suffering follows until healing begins. But, and this is vital, there is no eternal damnation. Instead, there is care, treatment, and eventually, a chance to try again. Before we explore this delicate journey, please subscribe and share, because this truth could save a life. Think of life as a classroom. Suicide isn't dropping out of school. It's walking out in the middle of a lesson. The curriculum doesn't disappear. The tests you skip will wait for you in the next round. That's why souls who take this path often wake up in specialized spiritual hospitals, where gentle guides help them process the emotional wounds that push them over the edge. It's not punishment, it's rehabilitation. But here's the haunting question. What lessons were left unfinished, and how do they return later? Many mediums describe these souls as carrying the same pain they felt in life, only magnified. The depression, the anger, the despair, they don't vanish instantly. Picture someone carrying a heavy suitcase onto the other side. They arrive exhausted, weighed down, needing time to unpack. But just like in any hospital, there are helpers. Spirits of light work patiently, offering compassion until the soul is strong enough to stand again. Doesn't that sound more like mercy than judgment? And here's the truth that brings hope. Suicide is not the end of a soul's journey. Recovery is possible. With time, love, and guidance, these spirits heal and are given another opportunity to incarnate, to face the same challenges again. Only this time, with new tools and wisdom. Imagine failing a grade in school. You don't get expelled from existence. You repeat until you finally understand. So ask yourself, what battles in your life today might actually be part of your soul's curriculum? But here's the cliffhanger you can't ignore. If some souls are vulnerable to their own inner storms, others are vulnerable to outside influences. Mediums reveal something chilling. There are restless spirits who try to attach themselves to the living, feeding on their fears, their addictions, their sadness. In the next chapter, we'll expose this darker side of the afterlife. Spiritual obsessors who can influence your mind and emotions without you even knowing it. Have you ever felt a sudden wave of anger, fear, or sadness that seemed to come out of nowhere? What if those emotions weren't entirely yours? Mediums reveal a chilling truth. Obsessing spirits, souls stuck in lower vibrations, can attach themselves to the living, feeding on their energy. Think of it like picking up a hitchhiker you never invited, one who whispers dark thoughts into your ear. Before we go deeper into this shadowy reality, don't forget to subscribe and share, because awareness might be your first line of defense. Picture your mind as a radio station. Most of the time, you're broadcasting your own thoughts. But sometimes, outside frequencies break in. Static, interference. That's how spiritual obsession works. Low-level entities tune into people who are vulnerable, especially those battling addiction, depression, or destructive habits. Ever had an intrusive thought that scared you? A whisper telling you to do something harmful? Could it have been not yours? How would you even know the difference? Stories from mediums often describe spirits clinging to people like shadows, feeding off their negative energy. Imagine walking with someone hanging on your back, heavy, draining, pulling you down. That's why some people spiral deeper into despair, as if dragged by an invisible force. And here's the terrifying part. Many of these spirits don't even realize they're dead. They cling to the living, desperate for sensations they can no longer feel. So here's the big question. Are you carrying someone else's weight without knowing it? But there's hope and power in knowing this truth. Just as a dark room disappears when you turn on the light, obsessing spirits lose their grip when you raise your vibration. Prayer, meditation, healthy living, and positive thinking act like spiritual shields. It's not superstition, it's alignment. Your thoughts, emotions, and habits determine your frequency. And here's the kicker. The brighter you shine, the less these hitchhikers can stick to you. Doesn't that make you wonder what energy you're broadcasting daily? And now comes the revelation that flips the fear into hope. Not all connections with spirits are draining. In fact, some are profoundly uplifting. Just as there are obsessors in the shadows, there are soulmates in the light, almas gemias, who reconnect beyond death itself. In the next chapter, we'll uncover the most romantic truth the afterlife holds. Soulmates are real, and true love doesn't end with the grave. Have you ever met someone and felt an instant recognition, as if your souls had shaken hands long before your bodies ever did? Mediums and spiritual experiencers say that's no coincidence. Soulmates are real, and their bond doesn't stop at death. Imagine two stars orbiting each other across lifetimes, drawn together no matter how many times they fall. Before we dive deeper into this eternal romance, remember to subscribe and share, because maybe your soulmate is waiting to hear this too. Think of love like a melody. Some songs fade after a while, but others stick in your head forever, echoing across time. True soulmates are that unforgettable song. When both souls reunite in the afterlife, the connection is immediate, like magnets snapping together. And here's the enchanting question. If death can't break that bond, then who in your life might be part of your eternal symphony? Mediums reveal that relationships built on shallow needs, lust, money, convenience, often dissolve quickly after death. But genuine love, the kind rooted in growth and sacrifice, shines brighter in the spirit world. Imagine leaving behind all masks, all pretenses, and finding someone who still sees the core of who you are and loves you even more. Doesn't that sound like the kind of love we're all secretly searching for? And here's where it gets fascinating. Soulmates don't just find each other once. They weave through multiple lifetimes, sometimes as lovers, sometimes as friends, even as family members. It's less like a straight romance novel and more like a series of interconnected books, with the same characters showing up in different roles. So ask yourself, who in your life feels like they've been part of your story far longer than this single lifetime? But let's leave this chapter on a cliffhanger. If love is eternal and follows us across lifetimes, then so do the consequences of our actions. Enter the law of karma, the invisible thread that explains why some lives are filled with ease while others overflow with challenges. In the next part, we'll uncover the powerful truth. Your past actions shape your present reality, and your current choices are writing your future destiny. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to glide through life with ease, while others are constantly battling uphill? The answer, according to spiritual teachings, is karma. Imagine karma as a spiritual bank account. Every action is a deposit or withdrawal, shaping the balance of your life experiences. It's not punishment, and it's not reward. It's simply cause and effect, stretching across lifetimes. Before we unravel how this hidden law is influencing your story right now, don't forget to subscribe and share. Someone you know might finally understand their struggles through this truth. Think about it. A seed doesn't vanish once planted. It grows, sometimes years later, into fruit. Karma works the same way. A harsh word spoken, an act of kindness given, a betrayal hidden. All of it is seed energy waiting for its season. This explains why challenges often feel unfair. They may not be payback from this life, but ripples from actions you set in motion long ago. So here's the universal question. What fruits are you harvesting right now from seeds you may not even remember planting? Mediums and reincarnation stories describe souls returning again and again, not as punishment, but as students retaking classes they once failed. Imagine failing math in high school. You're not expelled forever. You just retake the class until you master it. That's karma, the universe ensuring no lesson is skipped. Doesn't it make sense that what feels like random suffering might actually be a carefully designed curriculum for your soul's growth? But here's the empowering twist. Karma isn't just about the past. It's also about the present. Every choice you make today is writing the script of your future. Forgiveness, compassion, service, they lighten your karmic load. Resentment, cruelty, selfishness, they weigh you down. Imagine carrying a backpack filled with stones, only to realize you can start taking them out anytime. The question is, what stones are you still carrying, and which ones are you finally ready to put down? And now, the cliffhanger that takes us even deeper. If karma explains the balance of your experiences, then surely the afterlife itself must have structure, rules, and order. Mediums reveal that the spirit world isn't chaos. It has a hierarchy, levels, and dimensions where souls evolve step by step. In the next chapter, we'll uncover the bombshell truth. The afterlife is organized into realms of wisdom, light, and purification, and your place in it depends on your spiritual progress. Have you ever wondered what the afterlife really looks like? Is it chaos, or is there order? Mediums reveal a bombshell truth. The spiritual world is not random. It's organized into levels, realms, and hierarchies. Picture it like a vast city with neighborhoods of light, each one more radiant than the last. The higher you rise, the more wisdom and peace you experience. Before we explore these extraordinary dimensions, remember to subscribe and share, because this knowledge might change how you live today. Think of it like school. No one jumps straight from kindergarten to university. Souls evolve gradually, learning lessons, refining themselves, and then moving to higher classes. In the spirit world, this means ascending from lower, heavier planes to luminous ones filled with love. Doesn't it make sense that eternity would be structured like a journey of progress, not a static waiting room? So here's the universal question. What grade do you think your soul is in right now? Mediums describe luminous mentors, teachers, and leaders guiding souls through these levels, like professors in a divine academy. At the same time, spirits who are still attached to anger, greed, or fear may find themselves in denser realms, like remedial classes, where they work through unfinished lessons. Imagine walking through neighborhoods, some bright and welcoming, others darker and heavy, and realizing where you land depends entirely on your vibration. Would you be ready for the move today? Here's the inspiring part. Progression never stops. No matter how low a soul may start, there is always a path upward. Just as a candle can light a dark room, even the smallest spark of growth lifts a soul higher. This hierarchy isn't about punishment, it's about opportunity. Every choice you make, every thought you nurture, is either helping you climb or keeping you in place. So ask yourself, are your daily choices preparing you for the higher neighborhoods of light? But don't think structure means rigidity. There's still one powerful tool that can accelerate a soul's growth faster than anything else. A practice so common we often underestimate it. Yet in the spiritual world, it opens direct bridges between dimensions. In the next chapter, we'll uncover the hidden force that mediums say transforms lives both here and beyond, the secret power of prayer. Have you ever whispered a prayer and wondered if anyone was listening? Mediums reveal something astonishing. Prayers are not just words, they are energy, vibrating bridges that cross dimensions. Imagine striking a tuning fork, and instantly another one begins to hum at the same frequency. That's how prayer works. Your thoughts and emotions send ripples through the spiritual world. Before we decode how to make those ripples stronger, don't forget to subscribe and share, because someone you love may need this truth today. Think of prayer like dialing a phone number. The stronger your intention, the clearer the connection. But here's the catch. Just like phones, some signals are weak, others are crystal clear. A distracted, half-hearted prayer might cut out like static, while a prayer filled with love and focus rings like a bell. Haven't you ever felt sudden peace after a desperate prayer, as if someone actually answered? Could that be proof your line connected? Mediums say spirits do hear prayers, but they respond in ways we don't always expect. Sometimes the answer is immediate, sometimes it's delayed, sometimes it's a gentle not yet. Imagine asking a teacher for help. The teacher won't give you the answer key, but will guide you towards solving the problem yourself. That's how spiritual responses often come, through opportunities, nudges, and lessons that shape us. So the real question is, have you already received an answer you didn't recognize? And here's the twist. Not every prayer gets answered the way we want because not every request aligns with our soul's growth. Asking for shortcuts may not work, but asking for strength, clarity, and courage? That's like asking the gym trainer for better form instead of fewer weights. Imagine how differently your prayers would sound if you knew the spirit world was shaping you through them. Doesn't that change everything? But let me leave you with this cliffhanger. Prayer isn't just a personal practice. It's part of something much bigger. Right now, humanity as a whole is shifting, evolving, awakening spiritually in ways the world has never seen before. And in the next chapter, we'll uncover a revolutionary discovery. Our planet is undergoing a spiritual graduation, and you are part of it. Have you noticed how more and more people are talking about spiritual awakening, psychic abilities, and life after death? Mediums reveal this is not a coincidence. Humanity is in the middle of a spiritual evolution. Imagine Earth as a giant classroom, and right now, the whole class is preparing for graduation. The tests are harder, the lessons more intense, but the reward? A new level of consciousness. Before we open the final pages of this revelation, subscribe and share, because you are part of this transformation. Think of it like an upgrade to an operating system. Old programs, fear, greed, violence, are crashing. New ones, compassion, intuition, cooperation, are being installed. That's why so many people feel restless, questioning old beliefs, craving deeper meaning. Haven't you felt it too? That sense that life is more than routine and survival? Could it be your soul signaling that the world itself is shifting? Mediums and spiritual teachers say children born today often arrive with heightened sensitivity. Empaths, intuitives, and natural healers. Imagine planting seeds in richer soil. They sprout faster and stronger. These new souls are not anomalies. They are the blueprint of what humanity is becoming. But here's the question. Are we ready to nurture this evolution, or will we cling to the old ways that no longer serve us? And here's where it gets truly fascinating. Global challenges, climate change, conflicts, social upheaval aren't just random chaos. They're labor pains, contractions of a planet giving birth to a new era. Painful, yes, but purposeful. Just as storms clear the sky, these struggles may be clearing space for a brighter future. Doesn't it make sense that transformation often requires discomfort? So ask yourself, what role are you playing in this planetary shift? But let's leave this series on a powerful note. The future of humanity isn't written in stone. It's being written by every thought, every choice, every act of love or fear. You are not just a passenger. You are a co-creator of this evolution. And that's why the time to awaken is now. If this journey moved you, subscribe, like, and share. Because the more of us who awaken, the faster we step into the world our souls have been waiting for. So now you've seen it. Mediums reveal that the spiritual world is not just a mystery, but a living reality filled with guides, lessons, love, and choices that stretch far beyond this lifetime. But here's the real challenge. What will you do with this knowledge? Will you start paying attention to the signs around you, to your thoughts, to the lessons hidden in your struggles? Or will you ignore them and wait until it's too late? Ask yourself, what kind of reality are you creating right now with your thoughts? Who in your life might actually be part of your soul's contract? And are you living in a way that prepares you for higher realms of light, or keeping you stuck in lower ones? These aren't just questions for curiosity. They are invitations for transformation. If this journey resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and turn on notifications, because we'll continue exploring truths that the world isn't ready to talk about. Share this video with someone you love, because maybe, just maybe, it's the message they've been waiting for. And remember this final thought. Death is not the end of your story. It's just the turning of a page. The way you live now is the preface to what comes after. So live consciously, love deeply, and awaken fully. Because eternity is already listening.